All right. We're here. Turn off that camera. We're here. We're live. We're living. It's a great fall day here in New York. Gotta love the fall. And we have good slate. Kinda. A lot of people are dreading this game coming up. Tennessee, Miami. Will Levis versus Tyler Huntley. Can't get too excited over that, but I'm excited to see how this offense does with Tyler Huntley. I think it'll be better than Skylar Thompson. Obviously, Skylar Thompson, you can't get too much worse, but I think he'll do pretty well. A lot of people were asking, why didn't he play last week, whatever. It was such a quick turnaround last week that I think they want to get him a week under the scheme, kind of watch it unfold. Now he's going to be able to roll. Is he going to be like a game breaker, game changer, anything that like a really good quarterback? No, but I think he'll be able to manage his offense better. He'll also be able to run, which will create a lot of interesting plays for Achane, Tyreek, and Waddle not as much, but Achane and Tyreek should get a lot of interesting looks out of the run game. Maybe run some power read. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of use them. How we feeling today? Jack, how you doing? We are rolling. It's chilly in here. But, yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited to see it. But Will Levis, both of their passing touchdown lines. It's not going to be on my computer right now, but they will be up. They were at half a touchdown. Very interesting. So they clearly are playing into the fact that neither of these guys could really pass the ball. And as we've seen with Levis, making stupid decisions. But again, he could clean it up. As so far, again, without Tua, this defense is ranked 25th in the entire league. So they've been ass. But Tyler Huntley has some interesting lines. Let me look for the one I took. It's not up right now, which was 31.5 or 29.5 rushing yards. Wait, here it is. 30.5 rushing yards. I would take this all day long. We can look at his props.cash real quick. Let me pull it up. That's the other game. Tyler Huntley, you look at it on the surface level, you're like, this looks like fucking dog shit. He never hits this. But then you go to the snap percentages, and you're like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. What's going on, Maverick? How you down? It makes a lot more sense when you look at the snap percentages. We changed those snap percentages. We moved that up to like 60%, which means he's playing almost a full game. And the line looks a lot different, right? This is 30.5, obviously. He's hit this in 7 of the last 10 games, 9 of the last 12, averaging 42.9 yards per game. And I think there's going to be a similar theme again today with Miami. Reed's not there. First read's not developed. Tyler Huntley's not a guy that's going to look back to the field like Tua did and get to his third or fourth read. He'll probably run the rock. And I think he'll do a lot of that, especially being new in this offense. I think you're going to have a pretty big rushing day to a defense that runs a lot of man coverage. And what does man coverage do? Man coverage makes it so the DBs have their backs turned to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of easy rushing lanes. So I think Tyler Huntley could scramble for a lot of yards today in a new offense. I think that's a very good play. That is my only play out of this first game. The second game, obviously, big over-under. It should be juicy. Two good offenses. Where there's not really two good offenses. In this one, they're two pretty bad offenses with a good defense in Tennessee. So I think I'm going to lean the rushing over, and that's about it for this game. You can look at some other lines. I don't hate the Tyreek lines. Like if you want to go with Tyreek, I know a lot of people were taking this over, believing in Huntley. Very well could hit very easily. Very well could hit in the first half, and I would agree with you. Longest reception is another one I see a lot of people taking. Could easily hit. Achane is another one a lot of people are taking because they think he's going to be in a read option scenario where Achane can really cook. They take a man out of the box, give Achane one less guy to worry about. All of those are realm of the possibility. I'm going to play this as Tyler Huntley's not that good, and I'm going to take his rushing, and that's about it because he's a very scrambling type quarterback, almost like Lamar-esque quarterback. Tony Pollard, I took on the TikTok for rushing attempts, 12.5. It's not on Underdog right now, but make sure if you're not on Underdog, use code BDG when you sign up because you'll get a free square for this game. You'll get a free square for this game. Tyreek Hill half a yard, which is pretty exciting, as well as you'll get up to $1,000, and you'll get a few other promos as well of boosts, bonuses, and you'll get an extra free square next week for Thursday Night Football. So yeah, there's a lot to gain there. But Tony Pollard, rushing attempts is definitely a good one. Again, going with the narrative, Tennessee probably wins this one. In games so far, the Tennessee has been up. we can look at this too. Rushing attempts. There it is. Tony Pollard at 12.5 feels great. So far hit 16, 17, and obviously 6 against Green Bay. They were losing for most of that game. Started down 14-0. Didn't really get an opportunity to climb back, which created an easy under there. But I think in scripts where there are close games, they want to try to run the rock. They want to develop the run game. They want to get Will Levis a little bit more comfortable. They're going to do it through the running game. Tony Pollard should have a pretty big day there that I would expect. What's going on, Glenn? Who do you got for anytime touchdowns tonight? I will show you on Pickett. Make sure if you're not on Pickett using code BDGE when you sign up. It is absolutely free, and you can see my stupid parlays. I have 3 anytime touchdown scores. One of them is Tony Pollard. I think he'll get in for Tennessee. He's the only one in the Tennessee-Miami game that I have. I have JSN scoring, which I'll go over in a little bit, and obviously Monty feels like a lock. All that to combine for a bonus. Plus 2,053 there. So it should be pretty fun one there. But we'll get into all of that later. Again, make sure if you're not on Pickett, use code BDG when you sign up. Absolutely free. They'll actually give you money when you sign up, and you'll be entered into our merch raffle. So if you want some BDG merch, new hoodies coming out, be pretty gas for that. But yeah, so we'll move on to the next game. This is the game I'm going to pretty much yap all about. This overall theme of what I think is going to happen, how I think everything is going to unfold. I think this is going to be a very pass-heavy game. Geno's line has gone up already 7 yards. Started at 242, was 243. Now it's all the way at 251. On some books, still 242. I don't believe that. Sometimes props.cash could be a little bit sketchy there. Oops. Monty anytime touchdown feels like a lock. It always is, Jack. Good looks on the Godwin over 5.5 receptions yesterday. Got you. Love that Monty lock. Saw KW under as well. Good looks. I have that as well. We'll go over all of that. I have anytime touchdown 4-piece parlay. Monty left. Cash for 250 or ride for 600. No idea what to do. Got killed besides that. If you got killed this week and you lost a lot of money, I would say take your 250, cut your losses. It will suck if Monty scores, sure, 100%, but at least you have that insurance back. I'm I'm not a bettor that is going to, and I do get some reckless sometimes and do some parlays like I'm doing today and shit like that. But for the most part, the way I bet, the way I like to bet is to make sure I'm either getting back my money or I'm making a little bit of profit. Because even 1 cent is you making more than you lost that day. I get it. Some people like Jack want to lose $10,000 before they gain 20. Sure. Or they want to lose $20,000 and not win it back for 4 to 5 months. And that's also fine. But you got to be willing to take those losses. If you lost a lot this weekend and you don't want to be in a situation where it's like, hey, I need that for something else, for groceries, for fucking whatever the hell, I would just take the 250, live with it for the week. And if you lost with even 250 cash, and like if you lost more than that, be like, all right, I'll take my L, whatever, we'll move on. But at least I got that back. Or even if you made money off that 250, then I'd be like, all right, sure, I'll take my little bit of profit and move on. For me, it's guaranteed money at that point. I would lock that in. I'm a person that normally does that. Like there was a what? 117,000 someone won last week off like a Monday Night Football touchdown. It was Jamar Chase for the first touchdown. I get he won that 117,000. I would be sick if I was him and I cashed out. But at the same time, like he had, I think it was 17,000 that he could have cashed out for. I get that guy's used to betting a fuck ton of money. If that's me, 17,000 right here. Thank you very much. I will take that every day of the week, stress-free, not even thinking about it. Like that's just how I am though. And you got to decide what kind of bettor you are and how you want to distribute that. But I like Gibbs anytime touchdowns this week because underdog, he's vultured. No, I 100% if he's vultured, 100% take that as well. I got both lines running back scoring anytime touchdowns because our D-line edge is so down. Facts. The Seahawks are very banged up right now, and we'll get into all that. Let's start with the Seahawks passing game, though. I think this is going to be a very Geno-heavy game and a very run-heavy game on the opposite side of the field. I think Kenneth is going to be nullified, but I think Detroit's offense is going to be very run-heavy as the Seahawks team, like we just said, is beat up on the front there. Starting with Geno Smith and 22.5 completions. I did a write-up on this earlier on Twitter if you want to go check that out and read that. But if not, you can hear me yap about it. 22.5 completions feels great. He's hit this so far in 2 of the past 2 games, obviously against Miami and New England. Denver is a team that no one's really able to pass on. So I kind of almost washed that one in general. They're a team that almost no one's hit this line, and I'm not going to fault Geno for it, especially only falling 4 passes short. Where now he's completed 73.5% of his passes against man coverage this season. That's the second highest among quarterbacks. And right now the Lions are playing a man coverage at 46%. That's the second highest in the entire NFL. So they're running a ton of man coverage, and Geno is completing passes at the second highest rate against man coverage. Feels like a great line for this. But not only that, there's Carlton Davis on the outside, who's seen a league high of 15 targets this season. That's who DK's probably Terry Arnold's going to be on DK. That'll be maybe Tyler Lockett. JSN will see a little bit of Carlton Davis. And so far, there have been 10 receptions for 136 yards on his ass and a touchdown. He's deflected 0 passes. So if they try to target him, I think that makes for easy completions as well. Ryan Grubb is looking to get the ball underneath, quick, fast, easy into his playmakers' hands. This reminds me of a very similar game, a very similar scheme to New England. New England had a very good run defense at the time. Second, at the time, leading into week 2, they were like top 5, and they were healthy. And now New England's just beat the fuck up. But I think it's going to be a very similar scheme where they're not going to be able to really run the ball. First game without Kenneth was New England. Now Kenneth's first game back. I don't think he's going to be utilized to full health. If I was a coach, and I played my fair share of football, been offered to coach my fair share of teams, I would not put a player in that situation. Coming from an oblique injury, playing one of the best run defenses in all of the NFL. Like, you're pretty much asking for him to get banged up more. Play him at like 60%. Play him in opportunities where he gets 2 downs, take him off for a down, gets 2 downs, ease him back into it because he's going to be the difference maker for Seattle if they make the playoffs or not. Realistically, that's Kenneth Walker. I get Sharp's done a great job. But Sharp also is not a quarter of the running back that Kenneth is. And I think that's clear as day when you watch any sort of tape, any sort of film. It is obvious how good Kenneth is comparatively. The Jamar parlay was nuts. I break my phone hitting cash out so far. No, literally. Considering the ride is I'm up 1,500 on the year. Yeah, I mean, shit, if you're up that much, I would say fuck it as well too. How we feel about Metcalf catches and yards? I like the Metcalf yards. I took it on Pickett, but I didn't make it an official play because I'm kind of torn. I took it mainly because 1, he's on my fantasy team. And 2, just because like this, I think it's going to be such a pass-heavy scheme that almost both of the wide receivers in Seattle can cook again, like in New England. But I didn't want to make it an official play because I don't want to lead you guys onto something I'm not 100% confident in. So I'm like a 70% on that. I like it. I did play it myself, but I don't know if I would suggest it to everybody if you want to add it into like the end of a parlay. It's risky for sure, because this team gets primarily beat on the inside. So far, 2 slot receivers. Chris Godwin had a great game. Mike Evans got shut down. Cooper Kupp had an elite game. No one really on the outside. And Puka, for the time that he was in the game, wasn't really getting much there. So I feel like it's more of a slot game. They give the 7th most yards to the slot receivers. It's definitely going to be more of a JSN game. In my opinion, I think that's the way Ryan Grubb would scheme it up. How do you feel about Ridley anytime touchdown? I know Tony has it in his slip. He kind of talked me into it. I don't hate it at all. I think he can easily find the end zone, but he is going to probably face against Jalen Ramsey most of the game. But he does motion a lot, so we'll see how that is from that perspective. But this is the Geno play I have. Again, I think he's going to have a lot of easy dink and dunk, easy completions here to make for some an easy over at 22.5. And again, the only time he missed it was against Denver, who is the defense is actually insane. Heading to receiving yards, though, if we go to JSN, which is right here, he's up to 50.5. I got him all the way down to 47.5. I still would take him at this mark. Let me take this on Underdog as well here. Geno, 23.5 completions on Underdog. Interesting, got bumped. I still would take it here. I'll take it up to probably 24. Here's DK's 66.5 receiving yards. It feels fucking high. But, yeah, that's why I just can't take it. But JSN at 51.5. I took it to 47. As you can see on Pickett right here, I got it. Yeah, I mean, I like it around the 40, 50 mark. 51's not too high for me, so I would take it there at 51.5 and live with that all day. Now, again, Cooper Kupp, 14 receptions, 110 yards. Chris Godwin, 7 receptions, 117 yards. JSN has run 94% of his routes this season, and he ran 100% of routes last week versus Miami. Now, will he see that? Probably not, but he'll probably be in that 90% range. And if he runs 90% of routes versus a bad passing defense, they're going to want to pass the ball a lot. The passing volume has been there. Jason has looked to be the clear number 2 in this offense. And I think he's going to see a lot of action as well. They're probably going to want to limit DK as much as possible. And listen, if I'm Detroit, that's my goal. Limit DK as much as possible. Force JSN, force Tyler Lockett to beat you, and see what happens after that. But again, JSN has had the second highest win rate versus man coverage, again, which aligns with the second most in the league. So if there's a lot of man coverage, JSN's going to be the guy you want to look to. I think he is going to have a big day, and 50 yards feels a little bit low for me where he's at now. Again, he had 39 versus Miami, blowout. They tried to run the ball a lot, but again, Sharp's just so mid, kind of hurt. But they tried. He didn't get a lot of action. Still saw the snaps, still ran all the routes, only 3 targets though. And again, Denver is Denver at this point. But against New England, he absolutely popped. I think he can have another game very much like that. Let me check what you guys are saying. What are you guys gambling on? The German site I'm gambling on doesn't allow cash outs at any time. Touchdown score parlays. Just signed up for Pickett with the promo code. What is your at? My at is Guts045, G-U-T-S. I can comment it. G-U-T-S045. I might be commenting on the gaming channel. I am, but that's what it is. So yeah, that's what it is on Pickett. And then so you can see when I post shit, when I play shit as well. I've been more conservative, and I yapped about this before to Tony. I've been more conservative this year, and it's lost me units because I haven't been like taking advantage of a lot of these promos. I've just been kind of like placing my plays and then seeing what happens, and you can win a lot more than you lose, and you'll still not be really that profitable if you're that conservative. But again, by putting out plays, you guys can put it into whatever parlays you want. You can put it into whatever you want. That's just me giving you the plays. Me personally, how I'm betting it has just been straight bets, which has not been very profitable this month. So I'm starting to now I'm just kind of looking at it like, all right, let's dial the fuck in, start placing some bigger bets, put on my fucking big boy pants and rip. Because all NBA season, we cashed out massive in NBA last year because every single day I had a 3-leg parlay. Every single day in the NBA. And I cashed out way more than we actually lost in NBA. There was a stretch of time in February where I had 8 days. Out of 8 days, we swept 7 of them. And that was nuts on 3-leg parlays. That was the nuttiest shit ever. I was on TikTok. I grew 15,000 followers just from those 7 days of cash outs. It was crazy. But yeah, so I need to do that more often with NFL. I've been very, very, very conservative, and I need to start dialing the fuck in. But Jason, I do like the over on. We're gonna head to Kenneth Walker now, the rushing side of things. Again, Kenneth Walker banged up, injury report. Again, not 100%. Only practiced in a limited fashion this week. Only had a full practice one Saturday, which again is a walkthrough, so it's not a full practice by any means. Made 0 contact so far, and again, it's an oblique injury. So it's mainly a contact-related injury. So we'll see how he does taking hits. He's probably going to have, obviously, the rib guard on and do all that he can. But here's pretty much how the Lions have looked against running backs. Kyron Williams, 18 attempts, 50 rushing yards. Bucky Irving plus Rashad White combined for 17 attempts for 40 rushing yards. James Conner and Trey Benson combined for 11 rushing attempts for 27 total rushing yards. So far, they've allowed 0 running backs to rush for even 51 total yards. And now his line, well, we got it was at 55.5, but now it's around the 53.5 if you want to snag it there. I can look at what it is on 51.5. Woof. Woof. We got value, huh? Huh? Yeah, if you follow on, I think we have it on here. If you follow on the Twitter, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, here it is. If you follow on the Twitter, you'll see all of our bets and plays. Kenneth Walker, we took at 55.5, and I posted again. This is 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. You'll see on the bets channel. Obviously, we have JSN here, again, 4 hours ago. So get all these plays earlier. I will be posting more on Pickett. I've been kind of ass at that. Normally, I just copy and paste this to Pickett. So the fastest way to get my bets is through Twitter. So if you are looking for the ways to make sure you're getting the best value on that, that's why. And then on Pickett, obviously, it'll update as soon as I place the bet, which is normally the same time, normally around I post the Twitter. But yeah. So again, Kenneth Walker mainly banged up, whatnot. Yeah, the NBA run was crazy last season. Yeah, no, dude, it was nuts. Are you playing at 49.5? For Kenneth, am I playing at 49.5 or JSN? I'm gonna play JSN at 49.5 all day, every day. Kenneth Walker, 49.5 is a little bit low for me. He'll probably still go under that. I just don't know if I'd be comfortable with it. But again, if you want to take that shot, if you want to do it as a straight bet, yes. If you want to do it as a into a parlay, it could be a parlay breaker if he gets like 51 yards and you're sitting there like, damn, like that fucking blows. But again, if you look at how the Lions rank this season, right? Number 3 in outside rushes, number 2 in designed rushes, number 1 in rushing from under the center, and number 4 in overall rushing efficiency. Those are all numbers pulled from NFL Next Gen. It's just been insane, and I don't think he's going to get a ton of work this game. I could see him easily having a line of like 7 for 30, and that's like the end of his day. Caught maybe 1 or 2 passes, and that's like it. And they don't overuse him. I could 100% see that. Now, this is like a very big game for them. As if they go 4-0, that's a massive step forward. But if falling to 3-1 won't kill their record, and I don't think it's worth it enough to risk running Kenneth Walker into the ground to get to 4-0 compared to 3-1 against Detroit. I just don't see the true like value in doing that, in my opinion, especially it's not like a divisional game or anything. So I think Kenneth Walker will get limited touches this week. But those are the 4 main plays I have right now. Now, again, I did like DK. DK feels great. Now, if we update it, he went off. But DK feels good at 66.5. And he felt better at 63.5 when a lot of people were snagging him at. And I snagged him, if I'm not mistaken, I snagged him a night or 2 ago at 64.5, where he was down to 63. Now he's up to 66. I got him around the value. But I placed these 2 early as fuck. So if you followed me on Pickett, you saw those early as shit. And then I made these plays over the past like few hours this morning. So, yeah, that's pretty much how those unfolded. These are the main plays we have. I like DK. 66.5, you can add him in. Again, I think the passing offense for Geno Smith and the boys is going to be rolling tonight. If you want a Lions play, you're like, hey, Gut, I don't want to take Tyler Huntley. I don't want to take any of the Titans. I don't want to take any of Miami. I need a Lions play. Listen, the Lions plays that I would like, I would lean. Where the fuck is Monty? First off, this feels fucking automatic. Like, it's just every week. It's just, like, every fucking week he gets in. The value's not really there, though. But I would lean that way for sure. The other way I would lean, first quarter rushing yards, this sounds insane. But Monty normally gets the first drive or 2. Then it goes Gibbs, and then it goes back to Monty. They do drives on and off. David Montgomery typically gets the first drive. So if Monty's in for the first quarter, gets a drive and a half, gets a longer drive, 14.5 rushing yards versus a beat-up Seattle D-line. It feels very doable. He could catch this in 1 drive and make your life very easy. I don't think, outside of Detroit, I don't think Seattle's going to be a very time-consuming offense in this game. So I think Detroit's going to have a lot of opportunities. That's a line I very much like. We'll see if he can hit that, and he could even hit it on 1 rush, according to his longest rush, which is 15.5. Also, if you want to take Kenneth lower on longest rush at 13.5, he's a fucking dog, though. He's a dog, but I don't think it's going to happen versus Detroit. Yeah. And again, No, I don't think it's going to happen, sadly. Tyler Lockett, interesting. 5.5 targets feels about solid, but no one here I'd rather take. On the defensive side of things, no one here I'm really leaning. Maybe a Devon Witherspoon, since he'll probably be playing a little bit more in the slot. 1.5 assists feels good against an Amon-Ra St. Brown who's going to get a ton of volume. That feels like an interesting play. Probably would lean this way. Witherspoon is a fucking dog. All right, let me read some. Yeah. He's an absolute dog. Big unit. But yeah, so we're rolling there. I think that's the way I would go. That's the way I would lean. These are some of the plays I like. These are the main 4 plays. Where the fuck did my Kenneth one go? These are the main plays I like. Again, Tyler Huntley, if you missed the beginning, you can go back and read my fucking numbies with him. But pretty much, he's been an absolute dog. He's hit this 9 to 12 games, averaging 42 per game. And again, I think they're going to run the ball a lot, especially with man coverage on Tennessee. And especially because they're going to run a lot of shadow man over this guy, like they did against they did at Kansas City. I think it's going to be a very similar scheme to that. So I think they're going to try to nullify Tyreek Hill and make Tyler Huntley just run the offense without him. Could be interesting. Could lead to a big day for Waddle. Could. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's really all I got for you guys today. I've been yapping for a long time, so I'm going to stop yapping now. Chad, I just tuned in. What are the locks for tonight? I have 4 locks on the screen. Chad is also, if you go back to the live chat, they've been rolling with different plays that they like. We've locked down any touchdown. We'll do an anytime touchdown real quick. Do we have them up, though? That's the question. If we have them up, I'll do them. If we don't have any up, we don't have the passing ones up. Do we have the rushing ones up? No, we don't. All right, then I won't do it on here. But the touchdowns I do like on Pickett. I have 3 of them here. I like Tony Pollard to get in versus a Miami rush defense that looks bad without Tua so far because they're always on the goddamn field. They want to run the ball through Tony Pollard. JSN, I really like anytime touchdown score again. Should give up a big day to the slot. David Montgomery, I also like because he feels like he's fucking automatic at this point. Him or Gibbs, I also like. If you're on underdog, I like Gibbs more just because he's the vulture protection. So you're pretty much guaranteed to get something if him or Monty score. That's what I got. That's what I'm rolling with. So I'm going to stop yapping here, leave you guys to it. Appreciate all you guys being here. And love you guys. As always, best of luck on your bets. Best of luck on your few fantasy matchups. Best of luck on that as well. Sorry I didn't have a video out. I normally have a video for double headers as well. I just didn't know what I wanted. And I like to get a video out, I need to normally film it like either Sunday morning or like get it out as early as possible to get it out by Sunday. So it's like 24 hours. But I just didn't know what I really wanted out of these games. A lot of the lines weren't out yet. So for me, it was like I didn't want to give you guys a half-assed video. So I decided to do it this way instead. And we're rocking with the lives. We're rolling. Make sure you sign up on Pickett. Use code BDG so you can get all these lines as soon as I take them. And we will be rolling. Best of luck in everything. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.